Hey everyone, I'm Corey. This is my little TED Talk number 3, and today I'm specifically going to be talking about a recent quiz that I took on Strength Finder 2.0. And the quiz, the test, made you go over and answer all these questions, and then gives you your top 5 strengths that that we should be focusing on and that I'm good at. Well, at this point at this point in my life when I took this quiz, I basketball had become a big part of what I did, and I spent a lot of time on it with my team since the middle of the season and everything. And honestly, when out of the 20 game season, beginning of the season, when somebody asked me how do I think we do, I honestly would say we'd win 12 games and lose 8, and I could say that with all my heart, and I believe every single part of it. And when this quiz time came around, we weren't doing very well. We'd only won like 3 games, and we'd lost like 7 or 8, and we're losing games that I thought we shouldn't be losing. And I was just working, and I didn't know what I could do, and I was like beating myself up because I thought, this is my senior year. Well, I can't keep, doing poorly because I don't want to leave this horrible record behind me, and I want to leave a little bit more behind so people can remember me by. But I I just kept beating that, I wasn't doing enough, and that the goal ahead of me was what I was getting to was this crappy record that I wasn't going to be very proud of. And then I finished taking this quiz of things that were supposed to be focusing on my strengths, and the first one that came up was achiever. And one of the things it said about achiever in the ideas for action, it says the prospect of what lies ahead is infinitely more motivating than what has been completed. And further on it says your seemingly endless reserve of energy will create enthusiasm and momentum. Well, to me at this point in the basketball season, when I had just finished this, my seemingly endless reserve of energy had completely run out. It completely run out because why, I wasn't getting any rewards out of it. I was, completely exhausted each day, losing and going and having to work my butt off just trying to win some games, but then it wouldn't pay off. And again, in Ideas for Action for Achievers, it says achievers tend to move on to the next challenges without acknowledging their successes. Counter this impulse by creating regular opportunities to enjoy your progress and accomplishments. And I had simply been, oh, I lost this game, I've got to move on to the next game so I can get a win. And I hadn't been, trying to strengthen on what I did well that game and try to make it better for the next game so my strengths and what I do in basketball can help me win, help my team win games. Instead, I was focusing on the loss as a whole, and not trying to get the next win. And it was just that constant losing and that constant focusing on what I did wrong was what kind of started to tear me down and get rid of that energy that I have to just keep self-motivating myself and keep going and working each day. And I read about other people who also had the achiever talent, and they said they set up like point systems for themselves at work. If they did this right, they'd give themselves a point, and they'd count out their points each day and see how well they did that day, and they'd reward themselves for that. And I didn't go to the extreme of creating a point system for each individual thing I did in basketball games, but I started to focus on more what I did right in games. And I obviously focused on, sure, I did this wrong and sure I did that wrong, and so I should stop doing that and I should focus. So instead of doing that and putting myself in situations where I did bad things, I started focusing on more where I could do the right thing. And the right thing may not be what is going to end up putting me in the best situation to, make myself shine, but it started to end up helping my team. And even though I feel like my team still isn't, we're not winning games that I think we should be winning. This past Saturday, we had a game where we lost by 3, and it it was really the team we lost to. We had previously early in the season we got beat by like 20 something, and we lost by 3 on like a last second shot, and it. But in that moment, I looked at every single one of my teammates and I realized they had given their all and we had given our all, and we each did our best, and they did their job. They did what they are good at, and I did what I was good at, and I don't feel like I was proud of what we had accomplished, and I wasn't focusing on the loss, and I was focusing on what we did wrong. I was ready to take on, I had recognized the accomplishments of what we did that night, but then I was also ready to take on the next challenge. I had that energy again. I had that energy to go on and take that next challenge. And so, I don't know, the Strength Finder 2.0, it came at the right time. It came at the right time in my life where it just, things clicked. And I think what the focus of Strength Finder is not necessarily what it gives you all these things that you'd be like, oh yeah, that happened, that's true about me. But I think what the key is to Strength Finder is really the ideas for action, and you've really got to go out and you've got to act, and you've got to do something, and you've got to do something about working towards your strengths. And I think if you actually work at it and you take some action, I think everything will start becoming more clear, and you'll become more successful as a person because you'll be doing things and what you like to do and what you're strong at. And so I thank Strength Finder, and I'm really glad I ended up taking that quiz.